In my hand here is a product I've been waiting for forever, and this is the brand new Profoto Connect Pro. Not only does this do everything the previous remotes used to do, but now you can see the actual power settings on every single one of your strobes. Now, perhaps the only complaint anyone could have with the Profoto system in the past was that the remote, while extremely reliable, never told you the actual power on each one of your strobes. But now with the Profoto Connect Pro, you can see every single channel, control the exact power, and now they give you even more groups than ever before. All right, so here we are in our studio. We have the lovely Samaris here. She's gonna be modeling for us as we get some really dramatic shots. So for my very first shoot here, I have set up 4 different lights to give us a very complex portrait or beauty look, and it's gonna allow me to control every light and have a lot of room to play. First, let me use the modeling lamps to show you what each one of these lights looks like and what modifier we've attached the strobes to. So our first light, group A, is a B10X. It's an umbrella facing down, which is giving this soft top to down light. It looks really beautiful. Let's go ahead and turn that on and off so you can see the effect here. Our second light is another B10 in a gridded reflector dish. And as you can see here, it's a lot more dramatic. It's giving a lot more shadows. It's also not lighting our entire scene. I think this is gonna be really cool. Let's turn that one off. Our third light here in the back is a spot grid, which is just illuminating the background just a little bit and also adding a little highlight behind our model. And then finally, our fourth light is actually from above, and it's giving a nice spotlight effect from the top down, and it's also adding a little rim light around her hair and shoulders. So now let me turn on all of our groups so you can see what they're doing together. Here's group A, group B, group C, and finally group D. So now that you know what every light looks like and what modifiers we're using, let's turn off all of them, start with one light, get our pose locked in, and build this image from the ground up. All right, Sam, so let's go ahead and get you kind of in this position where you're on these apple boxes. Go ahead and, yep, stretch the legs, that looks pretty good. And then you were doing something where you kind of were holding your dress with the left hand and then just looking straight forward. Is that a comfortable position for you? All right. I am at f5.6, 2/50th of a second, ISO 64. So the umbrella from above looks really nice. It's kind of editorial. The shadows and highlights are really soft and muted, but it's a nice light. Let's say we want to do something a little more fashion, a little more hard light, something more like the light that's hitting me right now. I've set up group B with a reflector dish and a grid, and if I turn this modeling lamp on now, you can see we're casting a hard shadow behind our model. There's also some shadows on her nose and on her neck. This looks much more like a fashion image. Let me go ahead and take a test shot here and show you just how different these two images look. And now you can see our backdrop isn't lit nearly as evenly. We almost have a spotlight effect on our model. Her legs are going completely into shadow. But if we zoom into her face, I feel like the clothing and her face definitely have more texture. You can see the shape better. There's no doubt that this is a more dramatic lighting style than the soft light we had from the umbrella earlier. So right now I only have B, our hard key light, turned on. But let's go ahead and turn on group C. I can just hold the button here. It changes from a lightning bolt to our dial. I'm gonna set this to 7 as well. I can also control my modeling lamp. You can see that turning on and off on our background. Let me take a test shot here. And now we're starting to open up the right side of the image. We have that nice highlight on our backdrop. And if we zoom into the right side of our model here, we're also getting some nice highlights on her hair and also illuminating a little bit more on her legs. Now, of course, I could adjust this to taste. So if that's a little too bright, I could go down 1 stop to level 6, take another shot. And now it's just a little bit more subtle. And then finally, let's add one more light. I feel like the top of her head is kind of getting lost in the shadows. If I hit this button down on the bottom, it's going to allow me to open up D, E, and F, which you never could do before. And I'm gonna turn on D. Just like group C, group D has another grid on it. As I turn that on, you can see it's illuminating the top part of our canvas backdrops, and it's also kind of acting as a hair light. Let me go ahead and take a final image here. And now with all 3 groups, B, C, and D, you can see how much more dramatic this image is than the prior one. An outfit like this, it really looks glamorous. This looks really cool. It almost looks like Hollywood or prom or, you know, pageantry or something like that. I think having all of these lights coming from different directions really adds to this image. But as I have all of these on, I thought, wouldn't it be kind of interesting to add a little bit of that soft fill from group A and see if I can adjust that into this frame. So I'm gonna go back to group A. Let's go ahead and turn that one on. And then instead of shooting at power level 7, let's drop it down 2 stops to level 5. Go ahead and turn on the modeling lamp so you can see that as well. And now if we take an image, you can see it's starting to open up some of the shadows on her face. There's also a lot of shadows down by her legs and the boxes that it's opening up. And I think it's just making the image look a little bit more complete. Or if you like retouching your images, having all of that detail in the shadows is definitely gonna help. Now, as cool as the Connect Pro remote is, they've done something even more interesting. They've created the Connect app. And with the app, I now can visually see everything on one screen. I can control all of my modeling lamps directly from the phone. And with the mobile app, you can update the firmware. So if you're like me and you hate plugging in your strobes to a computer, you can download the firmware, update your strobes and your remote, and do it all directly from your phone. So there you guys go, the first look at the Profoto Connect Pro. This is a small upgrade, but perhaps one of the most exciting upgrades that all Profoto users are gonna enjoy. If you enjoy this kind of content, make sure you subscribe to our channel below. Our goal for 2022 is to get 1 million subscribers, and we're oh so very, very close. So go ahead and subscribe, hit that bell, and help us out. And if you're really into photography and you want to take your game to the next level, head over to fstoppers.com/store where you can check out our full-length tutorials. We've teamed up with photographers in all different genres, including landscapes, headshots, swimwear, product photography, macro photography, architectural photography. Basically any type of genre of photography that you might be interested in, chances are we have a tutorial for you. Stay tuned because we have some really cool content coming up on our channel. I will see you guys really soon.